Hi there, in this video you're going to learn how to find the markup. Your objectives for today is to solve real-world problems that involve markup. Recall that your percent equation is part equals percent as a decimal times your whole, or your percent proportion is part over whole equals percent over 100. We're going to be working with the percent equation. Okay, so let's go over what a markup is. A store sells items for more than it pays for, and the percent of markup is a percent of increase. The selling price is the amount that the customer pays for an item after a discount or a markup. Okay, so the final selling price is how the store sells it to you as a customer. Let's look at our first example. Find the selling price if a store pays $42 for a pair of inline skates and the markup is 25%. So this is method one. There are two methods that you can do this. In method one, we're going to find the amount of the markup first. So we're going to find what 25% of $42 is. Okay, that represents your markup, which we should all already know how to do this easily, right? You would do 0.25 times 42, or your percent as a decimal times your whole, which is 42, times your original price. And you end up getting $10.50. Okay, $10.50 represents your markup. Once you find the markup, you can add it to your original price. So if it originally cost $42 and it's marked up $10.50, okay, you would add up 42 plus 10.50 to get 52.50. So even though the store got the inline skates for $42, they are selling it to you as a customer for $52.50. Let's look at our next example. It says find the selling price if the store pays $20 for a sweater and the markup is 15%. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find 15% of $20. That represents our markup. So we're going to do 0.15 times 20 to get 3. Okay, 0.15, that's your percent as a decimal, times 20, that's your original price. And then if you do that in calculator, you end up getting 3. And then you're going to add whatever you get for your markup, so which is 3, plus your original, which is 20, to get your selling price, which is $23. Okay, so you add up your original plus your markup to get your $23. So even though the store got the sweater for $20, they're actually selling it to you for $23. Now this is method 2. This is the method that I prefer. We're going back to the same first question. So this is method 2. Find the selling price of a store pays $42 for the inline skates and the markup is 25%. So I want you to think that $42, which is the original cost, represents 100%. Okay? The store is charging its customers an additional 25%. So if $42 represents 100%, and the store is charging an additional 25%, the customer is responsible to pay for 125% of the cost. Okay? So from there, you can just find what 125% of $42 is. Okay? This represents 100%, right? And you're also adding 25%. So you're finding 125% of $42. And how do we do that? We're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left, so that 125% is going to turn to 1.25. We're going to multiply it by 42 to get your total of 52.50. Okay? So I would prefer this method. This method is a lot quicker than the first one that we talked about. So for here, we're finding 125% of your original cost. Let's look at our next problem. Find the selling price if the store pays $5 for a pencil case and the markup is 8%. So $5 represents 100%, right? This is the original cost. And the store is charging its customers an additional 8%. So the customer is responsible to pay 108% of the item. Okay? So if they're responsible to pay for 108%, let's figure out what is 108% of $5. So we're going to find 108% of $5. So we're going to take the decimal point, move it 2 places to the left, so 108 becomes 1.08. We're going to multiply it by our whole, which is 5. And then we end up getting $5.40. So the selling price would be this $5.40. And now let's look at the last problem. It says find the selling price if the store pays $10 for a pencil case and the markup is 5.4%. All right, let's look at this. So $10 represents your total, 100%, okay? 5.4% represents your markup. So in total, the customer is responsible to pay for 105.4%. So we're finding 105.4% of $10. Don't get confused, because even though there's a decimal point here, this is still in percent form, okay? Percent form can still have a decimal in it, okay, but it's not in decimal form, if that makes sense, right? If, in case you get confused, you can just divide this by 100. Otherwise, just move the decimal 2 places to the left. All right, so once you move the decimal 2 places to the left, you get 1.054 times 10 times your whole, which is $10. And then we end up getting $10.54 as our total. So if the store originally paid $10 for the item, they are now selling it for $10.54. Some concluding thoughts. You could either find the markup first and then add it later. This is method 1. Or you could just go straight to finding out the total percent you were actually paying for, which is method 2. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you learned how to find the markup.